because we've got 18th against 19th, Huddersfield Town against Charlton, with identical records as far as wins, draws and losses are concerned from the opening 35 matches of the 46-match regular season. 39 points each. Huddersfield Town against Charlton is our feature here on FM and digital BBC Radio Leeds for the rest of the afternoon. Bradford City, you need to be on 774 AM. They're certainly far too near the bottom three for comfort, these two teams. They have those identical records so far: 10 wins, 9 draws and 16 defeats each. But the problem is the whole of the bottom three are breathing down both Town and Charlton's necks now. Should any of these two teams fail to pick up at least a point today and for the next few weeks, then there could be trouble. Even bottom of the table Luton, as things stand, have 10 wins to their name now and 33 points accumulated. Remember, these two have 39 each. Not a single iota of room for error in the final 11 matches which start today. Any win carries extra value. You'll be well aware, ladies and gentlemen, that Huddersfield Town's next fixture is at Ellen Road next Saturday afternoon against Leeds United. A 3 o'clock kickoff will bring you double simultaneous bias commentaries on BBC Radio Leeds. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff and we'll bring you more detail between now and the end of the week. A very big billing here then for what is the Cowley brothers' 30th match in the Championship in charge of Huddersfield Town. The teams are out. It's a bright, sunny but very chilly and blustery day here at the John Smith Stadium. Huddersfield Town in blue and white stripes, white shorts and white socks make the one change. Jonathan Hogg doesn't make it because of the knee injury he picked up against Bristol City on Tuesday night. In comes Trevor Chalobah on loan from Chelsea. Charlton, who lost an injury time at Sheffield Wednesday on Wednesday night, have been in Yorkshire since to continue their preparations for this, the biggest match of the season, like Towns. They've made several changes. Lockyer suspended and Naby Sarr still injured. Lee Bowyer, like Danny Cowley, his opposing manager, has got a lot riding on this, Matthew Glennon.
Yeah, there's a lot riding on this afternoon, and we'll see how the two managers react today as well, with the decision making, the demeanour down there as well. Two fiery characters, and you can feel the atmosphere ramping up now as well. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people in the stadium already, and I just hope Town start exactly like they did on Tuesday night. I hope they go at this Charlton team, make them nervous by going at them like they do. I think they're going to be shooting the same way as well as they did on Tuesday night. I think they changed around then as well. There's your first good omen of the afternoon.
BBC Radio Leeds FM and digital radio with kick-off less than a minute away here at the John Smith Stadium, which is much more vibrant and much more packed on the popular sides than it was on Tuesday night when anticipation was low, but Town still beat 7th in the table Bristol City, who came up with an abject failure really here. Not to belittle Huddersfield Town's effort against Lee Johnson's side, but Hull's defeat at the hands of Leeds United, and what a defeat, 4-0, means that Huddersfield could really jump up a couple of places and improve their chance of staying in the division. 18th against 19th, and Town are attacking the south stand to our right. Huddersfield in possession from kick-off. They'll defend the northern fantastic media stand end to our left in this first half. Charlton, all in black, regain possession with the former Bradford City player Josh Cullen hooking the ball, helped by the wind downfield and into the arms of Jonas Lussell, all in green.
So straight away, you see the strength of the wind. Jonas Lussell's tried to smash the ball there, it's halfway line, then a Charlton player's just touched it and it's flown through to Lussell. Got wind against them and sun in their eyes. They've got a bit of work to do in this first half of the game.
Huddersfield Town 0, Charlton 0. 18th against 19th, and Lewis O'Brien, one of the stars of Town's show, plays a neat 1-2 with Carlin Grant. Checks his run level with the left edge of the penalty area on the far side. Town run into the shadows in the final attacking third in this first half. Grant holds it. He's closed down by McGeady. Toffolo's shot is double deflected and it balloons into the arms of Dylan Phillips, the Charlton keeper, all in yellow. He bowls it out early down the left-hand side. Doughty miscontrols it. Trevor Chalobah scuffs the pass back to Jonas Lussell from halfway. Very cautious pass back, but he made it well. And Chalobah does the same thing again, having been given the ball by Richard Stearman in front of his own penalty area. Lussell side puts it out for Lewis O'Brien, who's started the game in Jonathan Hock's position in front of the back four. Chalobah links with Chris Willock down the right-hand side, and Stearman from the edge of his penalty area finds O'Brien again. O'Brien uses the space, bypasses young Andre Green and Ostuma, and then Matthews tackles Carlin Grant, and the ball's out of play from Matthews' challenge. It's a throw into Town, 10 yards inside Charlton's half on the far side. A quickly taken throw in by Toffolo towards Fraser Campbell. Comes back for Carlin Grant to attack the left side of the box. He steps over the ball but runs it over towards the byline, keeps it in play, and with a very static looking Charlton defence waiting for the cross, Oshilaja puts it out of play for the first corner.
Yeah, it's as if Charlton were thinking it was going to go out of play, but Grant got there. Interestingly, Smith-Rowe's being man-marked today. He's not being given any space at all. Smith-Rowe's first touch after the short corner. Willock combines with Grant on the edge of the penalty area. Grant takes on his former teammates. Josh Cullen holds him at bay, but the ball's off with Willock now, who dribbles, stands up in front of Green but squares the pass towards Chalobah on the near side, the Town right. Chalobah starts his run past Lapsley. The cross behind the targets, Campbell included, and away comes McGeady, but he's tackled by Campbell and Town stay on the front foot deep in the final third. 0-0, 3 minutes gone. Chalobah in the shadows down the right side finds Chris Willock. Patient Lewis O'Brien, confident Lewis O'Brien brings in Toffolo, who fits the same description. Then the cross by Richard Stearman, the centre half. Love to see that. Right footed behind the targets. It's cleared by Lyle Taylor, the striker. Back come Town with the second ball. Stearman and Schindler in each other's way. The cross threaded through. Wasn't made before the ball had crossed the whitewash. It's gone for a goal kick. Yes, it's always interesting to see a centre half crossing the ball from the left wing position with his right foot. Well, that's just how many players that Town have committed forward and have stayed forward as well. Really good play from Chalobah to drive past the Charlton player and get it into the box. Unfortunately couldn't find his man. Then Campbell does superb, just keeps the ball alive, doesn't commit a foul, just makes a really good sliding challenge, just keeps Charlton on the back foot.
Lee Bowyer, the former Leeds United hero in charge of Charlton Athletic, paces up and down on the edge of his technical area here in Huddersfield. Scored in a friendly here once, back in Leeds' European heydays, with him at the middle of things. And he shields the sun from his eyes as his keeper Phillips clears downfield from right to left as we look at it. Huddersfield Town 0, Charlton 0, and the ball's gone all the way through to Jonas Lussell, the Town keeper on loan from Everton now. These days, calmly he chips it forward past the shock of blonde hair and Lapsley in the midfield for the All Black of Charlton. Willock steps in after the pass by Danny Simpson. A touch by Smith-Rowe gives it back to Willock, and Town move with rhythm across the park from right to left. O'Brien clips the pass towards Toffolo, Town's left back. Lyle Taylor's doing a lot of defending in the opening phase of the match. Chalobah spreads the play wide to the near side, the right. Town using the pitch, keeping it wide. Willock tries a backheel pass which hits Doughty, the wing back, and now Cullen is held on the hips by Danny Simpson by way of a tackle, and the referee stops the game and gives the free kick to the addicts of Charlton Athletic, who won the playoff final in League One to be promoted to the Championship last season, and now they're fighting to stay in it. Jason Pearce, the skipper for Charlton, finds Cullen, who gets it back from McGeady in midfield, building patiently down the left hand side. Charlton now go for Green downfield. The ball threads in behind Schindler after a defensive touch by Simpson and almost falls for Lyle Taylor, but there was a bit too much on the ball spinning away from Taylor, and it's claimed by Lussell, 0-0.
Yeah, decent bit of communication there. It's just one of those instances where somebody gets a touch that's unexpected, but just with a little bit of talking, just keeps everything nice and calm.
Danny Cowley's Barmy Army is the cry from the Cowshed loyal. Toffolo rolls the pass forward. Smith Rowe with a beautiful balance back to Toffolo, but Ostuma nips in and helps out the defence. Oshilaja makes the clearance. Huddersfield Town 0, Charlton 0 as Town bring the throw-in in from the Kilmarnock side of the ground. O'Brien gives it, goes, wants it back from Colin Grant, who was already looking at the referee appealing for a free kick before the whistle had gone.
They're just keeping really good steady pressure, and Charlton, I wouldn't say they're bombarding them at this moment in time, but they're just keeping that ball towards that final third.
Quickly taken free kick. It's clipped goalwards by Emil Smith Rowe, but the big men at the back for Charlton block it. Back come Town. Toffolo's cross tied away by Oshilaja for another corner. The ex-Wimbledon captain playing at centre half in the absence of Lockyer.
You say though, you're right, but very static at the back. Toffolo is just it's a decent trick. He's let the ball run across his body, took a little touch, but everyone just seemed to stand and watch it and think, oh, what's he just done? And he gets a decent ball into the box in another corner.
Charlton with their backs to the wall. Slow pace start to the game by them. Another Town corner. Grant whips it in. It's missed, that header by Pearson, and the ball, luckily for Charlton, drops the other side of the penalty area after a couple of bounces. Nobody touched it after the corner actually, and it's a throw-in to Charlton. Has it actually gone the other side of the corner flag for a goal kick? Yes, it has. Apologies. It is a goal kick to Charlton. 0-0.
Yeah, just a really good whip ball by Grant. Loads of pace on it. No one wanted to commit as a defender. Unfortunately, no one wanted to commit as a Town player either. I think Campbell just got caught unawares. Pearce
finds Doughty, and Doughty dribbles his way into trouble deep inside his own half. Town on the attack. Willock wins a corner off Doughty, who is one of many Charlton defenders who look as if they've seen enough of Yorkshire this week.
Well, that's why people say, why is Campbell playing instead of Mounier? Because that's what he does. He scares people, he closes people down, he makes them make mistakes, and he can just drain defences before Mounier comes on.
Drained is the word. That's what they look, Charlton's defence. Town's corner played short. Willock finds Smith Rowe, and now Willock makes the return pass with Ostuma marking him down this near side, the Town right. 8 minutes gone. Town on the front foot. Smith Rowe's cross is blocked by Andre Green. The spin judged by by Chris Willock, I should say, better than those around him, but Cullen and then Ostuma press on him and they win possession. Green takes on Trevor Chalobah and sprints past him on halfway. Green touches it past Chalobah. His cross is blocked by Lewis O'Brien, who's backing Chalobah up, and then Simpson picks up the loose ball. O'Brien motors upfield. Smith Rowe is dragged down by Josh Cullen. Free kick Huddersfield Town.
Yeah, Josh Cullen's doing the bit of man-to-man on Smith Rowe, always looking for him. As soon as Huddersfield Town on the ball, you can see he's looking left and right, where Smith Rowe has obviously been told to man-mark him, which, to be fair, he'll take that. Smith Rowe's good enough for Stars, but it also opens up other opportunities on the pitch for other players.
CAFC is the cry from the Addicts fans. About 1,000 of them here, maybe a bit less than that, in decent voice, having come up from South London. Huddersfield Town in possession. They swing the ball across the park just inside his own half. Harry Toffolo rolls it across halfway. Grant touches it off. O'Brien, one touch pass to Toffolo, then motors after the return, which he keeps in play. Then O'Brien's cross on the run is a beauty, and it's not reached by Fraser Campbell. O'Brien single-handedly opening Charlton up down the left. Ball still alive. Simpson finds Chalobah, who's urged to shoot by the fans on the near side, but they play patiently to Town. Simpson, Chalobah, into the box goes his pass. Smith Rowe dips a shoulder, crosses from the byline. It's behind Campbell and co, and Ostuma brings it down. Hooks it away to safety. It's nodded back towards the box by Stearman, who's now out of position. Stearman's header intercepted by Cullen, and now Andre Green carries the ball down the left-hand side, brings it in towards Ostuma, a poor man's Gundogan. Left-footed shot by Oztumer, well saved by Jonas Russell down to his left. That was on target by the little man who was born one train stop from Charlton's ground, Oztumer.
I wasn't sure where you were going there. One leg, one arm, one ear. That was actually a decent save from Russell. It was very, very awkward. It was dipping, curling, not loads of pace on it, but he keeps hold of it well.
Skillful, nippy left-footed player, Oztumer, needs to be watched. Town in possession again. Topolo's early ball into the penalty area. A curving low pass around the outside. He's dealt with by Oshilaja for the moment, but he's put it out of play for a throw-in. Town looking bright today.
Very bright. As I say, it's just sustained pressure. And at some point with this static Charlton defence, you expect a decent chance to come.
Smith Rowe calling the shots, giving it, going after the return pass from Grant. Grant loses control and Lapsley nips in to clear with a toe-bunged clearance down centre field. Topolo finds Smith Rowe, who turns. His shot is blocked by Cullen and it falls nicely for Aidan McGeady. He scuttles away from his penalty area and Matthews and Cullen combine to find Oztumer. They're running out of pitch at Charlton. The press from Grant, O'Brien and Smith Rowe is thwarted only by the excellent close control by Oztumer. Oshilaja less so, does well to drive the ball upfield, and he's found a gap to find McGeady. McGeady strokes it casually in front of Lapsley. Charlton break, but it's at medium pace, and they haven't got many bodies upfield either. Doughty and Lapsley. Watched carefully by Chalobah and Willock midway inside the Huddersfield Town half. 0-0, 12 minutes gone. Oztumer swings it right. Matthews, nice ball to the edge of the box to find McGeady. Monitored by O'Brien. Oztumer, left-footed pass towards Cullen. Lapsley wants it and he's into the space, the pocket of space in front of Chalobah before Chalobah can realise the danger. But he adjusts his position, does Chalobah, and shunts Lapsley away from the danger area. Back on halfway as a result of Town's pressing, led at the front by Fraser Campbell. Charlton then play it all the way back to the keeper and scruffily. Phillips has to go and fetch it on the right edge of the box, and Town recovered their defensive positions really well then.
Yeah, they did, and also pushing out nice and quick as a unit. You can see them moving side to side. Charlton aren't committing masses of plays forward. Town are quite comfortable.
Huddersfield Town 0, Charlton Athletic 0 on digital and FM BBC Radio Leeds, as well as with you around the world via iFollow and the Huddersfield Town official website. Oshilaja and Matthews midway inside their own half. Matthews goes round Grant, trying to find Lyle Taylor, bring him into the game, but Toffolo tackles him and it's out for a throw-in on the far side, the Kilner Bank, who look on with many more people having taken up their season ticket seats today than on Tuesday night. Temperatures are not much different though, Matty.
They're not much different, no. But you're not getting home at 11 o'clock at night. It's just a little bit different.
McGeady holds off Lewis O'Brien. The All Black of Charlton establish an attacking position. Neat 1-2 between Lapsley and Green. And now there's a crossing opportunity from the left-hand side. Willock and Chalobah run into the right places. And then Oztumer runs into the referee, trying to take a pass from McGeady. And the ball runs loose for Town to carry forward as a result. Willock attacks the right edge of the penalty area, holds it, a back heel control. He hits Doughty with his cross, but he fetches the loose ball with no trouble. Simpson crosses against Doughty and wins a corner.
I thought actually rebounded off Simpson there. So that was a really slow-paced attack. I think Willock was just slowing it down just so he got a little bit of support. There wasn't many people bombing forward to get into that box. There's only Smith Rowe, Campbell up there. I think when they go forward, Town needs to go a little bit quicker. I think that's because Charlton are being so laboured in there, getting back for defending. Town are slowing down a little bit. They need to keep pressing that screw.
A Town corner from the right hand side in the shadows of the south stand end. 0-0. Stearman runs to the near post. Grant lifts the corner over him and Jason Pearce heads away for Charlton, whose manager Lee Bowyer is absolutely full of anger still after that incident where Ostuma was body checked by the referee by accident. If Town had scored from that resulting possession, there would have been all on here, I'll tell you now.
That would have been good. That would have been good.
Our Jamie's been lip reading.
The show.
He's never heard language like it in his life.
I have to say, Oggy, I feared for the fourth official if Town had scored in that run of play. He has not calmed down since that.
He's got a point, actually. He has got a point. You might have given an uncontested drop ball or something like that.
Yeah.
I know people will send me hate mail for this, even more than usual, but I'm slightly relieved that Town didn't score from that breakaway.
Oh.
First message is in.
I can't get my gloves off quick enough to write a text message.
First message is in from Emma Lennon.
Trying to get these gloves off.
Flooding.
Pearce for Charlton finds Josh Cullen. Cullen holds off Emile Smith-Rowe, and on halfway Charlton found a bit of rhythm in their passing again. It's 0-0. Emile Smith-Rowe just shoves Cullen in the back. He's dynamic, Cullen. He wants it again from Pearce. Plays one in towards Lapsley. He's a kind of link between the defensive line and the front end of the team. Ostuma playing a similar role. Good on the ball. Ostuma finds Matthews, and that's a better pass around the outside to bring in Lyle Taylor, the big striker with the blonde top. Taylor turns and crosses against Schindler. It's off Schindler's shins for a throw-in, taken quickly. Ostuma miscontrols it. Good tackle, Trevor Chalobah. The aggression appreciated by the kill on the bank. They're applauding for it. Then Smith-Rowe finds Campbell. Campbell's cut pass in towards Willock is intercepted by Charlton, and quickly they build again down the right. Lyle Taylor tries to lob the cross towards the far side, or was that a shot to the far post? It might have been. He nearly found the bottom corner at the far stick, but Green was also available to aim at in the box. It's a goal kick in the event.
I think he was just trying to chuck an awkward run there for the defence and for Lossell. As I say, you've got to cross it in this kind of weather. You don't know what's going to happen. More importantly though, Toffolo just needs to be careful. We know loves to bomb forward, but Taylor was just thinking, I'm just going to stay in this position on the right wing, let Toffolo go, and if we do win possession back, I've got a chance to score. God, the goal kick there is just stopped in the air.
The ball actually hung in the air, hence the giggles from the fans just to the right of us. It was a comical sight, and Lussell did really well to reach halfway with his goal kick. Litter flying around everywhere on the sidelines.
You've got to be a confident striker of the ball, saying in this weather.
Huddersfield Town 0, Charlton 0 on BBC Radio Leeds Digital and FM. There's a push on Chalobah by Green. Lapsley involved as well. Not a spectacular game so far. It's a scrap between two teams on 39 points each, and nowhere near safe from the threat of relegation, with only 6 points separating Charlton and Huddersfield Town in 18th and 19th respectively, and the bottom position in the table.
Huddersfield Town have got to keep going forward. They'll keep remembering how they started the game, because the further it goes on, you get to half time, it's Charlton that'll be happier, and that's when you start sensing that little bit of nervousness in the crowd.
Charlton's goal difference is a lot healthier than Town's. -5 plays -15. Town's throwing is going to come from level with the left edge of the penalty area on that far side of the ground. Grant tosses it to Harry Toffolo. Toffolo uses Smith-Rowe, but Smith-Rowe's carefully watched by the aggressive Cullen, one of the smaller men on the field. Good in the tackle. Toffolo takes it to the throw-in from 10 yards further back and gets it back from Smith-Rowe. Even the give-backs to the throw-in taker are skillful from Smith-Rowe. Bang on target. The aggression of O'Brien now brings in Toffolo again. On the run he crosses. It's blocked by Oshilaja. Trying to claim the ball, Fraser Campbell has left one in on Aidan McGeady. And that was a foul.
Yeah.
Free kick Charlton.
That was a foul. I'm not quite sure what he's going for there. I think he must have pulled out a little bit, because McGeady there would have been in a lot more trouble if he hadn't. Yeah, the ball's nowhere near to be won there. That's a rash one.
Apologetic Fraser Campbell, he's that sort of lad.
Yeah, kicks you then apologises.
But he does put
Fabulous.
himself about first. And whack.
Sorry.
Free kick just inside the penalty area on the right side. Charlton's keeper Phillips lifted away from the shadows and into the searing sunshine at the other end of the ground. Charlton attacking the fantastic media stand to our left. Lyle Taylor traps it, gives it to McGeady. He's trying to tee it up on his left foot. It's too far away to shoot, so he squares it to Doughty. The Charlton Academy product gives it to another local boy, Ostuma. Lapsley has to turn into the face of Lewis O'Brien, and you know who's going to win that 50-50? O'Brien just stands there and tackles, and it's away for a throw into Charlton on this near side. Quality, minimal. Value of a win, absolutely maximum today for either of these two teams.
Yeah, it is. We'd like to be entertained, obviously, like we were Tuesday night.
No time for that, no.
Ultimately, win the game and let's go home.
On halfway, Cullen zips around, shoulders Emile Smith-Rowe, gives the ball to Jason Pearce. That's a good first time pass by Doughty to find Green, but having touched the ball heavily as he ran towards the touchline to collect it, he's got to go and chase it, and he fails to deal with the spin. It's out for a throw into Town, taken by Danny Simpson. The backdrop of Town substitutes is a spectacular sight. Stankovic, Kachunga, Kwana on the bench today for Town. Why not throw Christoph Bühler and David Wagner in there as well? And we've got a full set from Town's early German phase from recent history. Oshilaja heads the ball out of play meanwhile at the other end of the park, and Town have another throw in for Harry Toffolo to take. The wind still whipping round through the gaps between the stands and the John Smith Stadium. 0-0, and the sun's gone in for the moment. Harry Toffolo looks at the run of Fraser Campbell, responds to it with a nice little throw, but the press on Harry Toffolo as he gets the pass back from Fraser Campbell dispossesses him. Charlton's distribution out of defence isn't up to much though, and Town have no trouble winning it back just short of halfway. Willock wants it to feet. Chaloba's gone back to Simpson. Willock can chase the ball over the top, delivered to him first time by Smith-Rowe, but Doughty read the situation well, and having collected it has now clipped it downfield. Stearman chases. He's got to sprint well because Green is with him, and the ball, helpfully for Town, has drifted eventually out of play.
You do feel if Chaloba and O'Brien, even Smith-Rowe, just upped it 10%, the quickness of passing, the quickness of the movement a little bit, that you could absolutely tear this Charlton team to pieces. You said, we've said it 2-3 times now, static, you know what I mean, not quite as reactive as they should be for this level of football. So if Willock and Smith-Rowe and Cam just little one touch, two touch, a little bit quicker, a little bit more inventive with the movement, they could leave this Charlton team for dead.
Pearce on his left foot fakes a move onto his right foot first, switches left, and then drifts a big crossfield ball across the park towards Lyle Taylor's blonde head. Taylor actually does get a connection, but the ball's swirling away from him as he went for it, and eventually it's gone out of play for a goal kick on the far side. The game lacking intensity. I'm sure it'll be much different in exactly a week's time at Ellen Road when Leeds United host Huddersfield Town, a match you can hear in full twice at the same time on BBC Radio Leeds. We'll have simultaneous biased commentaries from either camp. Toffolo for Town, carries it across halfway and feeds Carlin Grant. Now he dribbles at the Charlton defence, but the last dribble past the defender is stopped by Lapsley's well-timed tackle on the edge of the penalty area.
That's not what we were talking about
McGeady
again.
has had the ball taken off him by O'Brien though, and Town have it again.
Charlton know him, you know, and they know what he's going to do. Most championship clubs know him now, but especially this club.
Campbell thinks about a shot. He needed a man-on shout, and McGeady has taken the ball off Fraser Campbell. And then Carlin Grant dispossesses Oshilaja and scores in the penalty area. Yet again, Charlton lacking in movement at the back. Oshilaja's touch was awful in his own box, and Carlin Grant has pounced against his former club to drive 1-0 lead with his 15th goal of the season. It's Huddersfield Town 1, Charlton 0.
Yeah, brilliant from Carlin Grant. Notices that they were struggling, that there was no options for the centre half, knowing that they were going to overplay it, just takes his chance and absolutely rifles it in the back of the net. That's what happens when you close it down. We said all they need to do, just step it up, just step that closed up. Charlton will give you something. Put enough pressure on him, they'll give you something. That's exactly what they did. They'll have to finish it though. Left foot, drives it through the goalkeeper. Excellent. Town need to go on now. Get that second goal, get that third goal.
The cowshed loyal, belting out the songs of celebration. Town 1, Charlton 0 on BBC Radio Leeds, digital and FM. And that was just sheer greed, poacher's aggression from Carlin Grant. As if they don't know it at Charlton. Town paid £2 million for it.
Yeah, reading the situation, seeing that they've just devoid of ideas at the back.
Oshilaja plays a safer ball back to his keeper now. Phillips spots the early run of Doughty, drifts it forward, but a bit straight for his teammates running down the flanks. Stearman and O'Brien help propel the ball forward. Smith Rowe carries it past Lapsley. Grant is encouraged to shoot from an angle at 35 yards out, and he's right to give the ball back to Smith Rowe. And now Town play keep ball in midfield. Chalobah switches to the right, and Willett, good early run by Danny Simpson, who's got time and space to cross. Instead he jags the pass infield for Chalobah. Now O'Brien pushes it past Lapsley. The aggression in his run onto his left foot. Good block, Josh Cullen for Charlton. But the ball's fallen straight into Emile Smith Rowe. Huddersfield 1, Charlton 0. Chalobah carries it down the right and brings in Chris Willett. Huddersfield Town probing, urged on by Danny and Nicky Cowley behind them. O'Brien brings in Harry Toffolo. Lyle Taylor comes back to defend. O'Brien now finds Carlin Grant very close to him in a deep position from halfway. Grant switches to Stearman, who's going to cross halfway with the ball at his feet. Green chases him. Simpson reaches an overhit pass from Stearman out on the right hand side, and Stearman apologises for it. Well done, Simpson. Schindler and O'Brien exchange little passes on the halfway line, and now Harry Toffolo uses O'Brien's availability. Huddersfield Town 1, Charlton 0 on BBC Radio Leeds, FM and digital. Grant the goal scorer. O'Brien flips the pass towards Toffolo. The interception from McGeady will keep Town at bay for a while, but they look hungry for more here.
They do, and look in control as well, keeping possession of the ball, not allow Charlton to have a quick response, which we've seen a few times this season from Town.
Smith Rowe, a dainty run, but he's got the ball under control. He stops and lays it off towards O'Brien, who brings in Toffolo. Grant just outside the left apex of the penalty area finds Toffolo again, and Town play keep ball. Now the pass flicked over the top by Grant, looking for Smith Rowe, but it spins away from him. Nice, inventive, confident stuff from the blue and white stripes of Huddersfield Town, who lead 1-0 against rivals Charlton at the wrong end of the table.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. Great run from Smith Rowe. Got himself into a little bit of space, a little bit of movement. Charlton not really going with him. Unfortunately, Grant's ball just not quite there. Ooh.
Very nearly another howler inside their own penalty area by Charlton. This time skipper Pearce, and the pass to him by Phillips, the keeper, very nearly intercepted by Fraser Campbell. The ball's out of play now on the far side. Charlton look a bit raggedy now. They're bruised by that goal from Carlin Grant.
Well, it just changes their game plan. You know what I mean? They were man marking Smith Rowe. They were trying to frustrate and catch on the break. 1-0 down. It's got to change up a little bit. People start thinking differently. Hopefully it'll open up a bit more space in that midfield.
Still the songs coming out from the south stand end. Huddersfield Town 1, Charlton 0. Toffolo off balance. I thought he was pushed from behind by McGeady, but now Stearman finds O'Brien. O'Brien's first time pass spins away from him a little bit, and Cullen picks it up in the centre circle for Charlton, all in black. Defending the right-hand end of the ground as we look at it. Pearce and Oshilaja, the two centre-halves on the day, find Matthews, and now Lyle Taylor comes up to join Lapsley's right-sided midfield teammate. See if they can combine to conjure something, but Huddersfield Town's marking and pressing is too good. O'Brien rushes up, so does Chalobah, does well to dispossess McGeady, and now O'Brien brings in Colin Grant down the left-hand side. 30 minutes gone. Huddersfield Town 1, Charlton 0. Toffolo takes on Lapsley. Grant swerves in, dipping his right shoulder as he comes in from the left touchline. Finds Smith Rowe, who scoops the pass over the top. Willett holds it, knows that Simpson's overlapping. Willett comes in field onto his left foot and shoots over the bar. He delayed it, and probably delayed it too long before shooting high.
Yeah, we're having a little bit of flashback to Tuesday night there. Unfortunately, it didn't end up anywhere near where that did. But got himself into a really good bit of space and got himself a shooting opportunity there. Challengers didn't go with him. They just allowed him to get that shot off. Fortunately, it was miles away. Big concern there. I think Smith Rowe's down. I don't know if it was a knock or he's just pulled up on something.
Well, as well as that, Matty, Danny Simpson's also receiving treatment just in front of the Huddersfield Town dugout. So concern for two Huddersfield Town players, particularly Emil Smith Rowe.
Yeah, I think Simpson got a bit of a knock a couple of weeks ago, to be fair. He's probably a little bit stiff in that lower back area that we saw a game or two ago. I'm sure he'll be fine. He says Smith Rowe, I'm not quite sure what happened to him there in the build-up to Willock's strike.
Seems to be holding his back.
There's a bit of work on his left knee as well, actually, besides his back. Jamie, I saw that as well. Meantime, there's a fascinating looking conversation going on between Jonas Lussell and Lewis O'Brien on the halfway line about distribution from deep. O'Brien pointing, talking about the wind, as if Jonas Lussell, a Dane, wouldn't know about winds whipping in off the sea. He's back in his penalty area now.
It's about not taking any chances. It's all nice to, yes, you want to play. But sometimes you have just got to try and get forward and play from there. And Town are doing really well. They're playing a lot of football in Charlton's half.
Danny Kelly comes across, has a little whisper in Emil Smith Rowe's ear. The fourth official getting busy, saying they shouldn't be having a conversation. Let him have a chat.
I think he wants to come back on Smith Rowe, and the fourth official say no, not yet.
Schindler stoops cleverly to reach a spinning, bouncing ball before Green can control it. And Town clear their lines as a result. They lead by a goal to 0. We're back underway. Both Simpson and Smith Rowe look okay. Lapsley works the ball down the right touchline for Charlton. Green holds it level over the right edge of the penalty area. Lapsley gets a little pass from the same player. Now Green goes around the outside and past O'Brien, trying to win a corner off the block of Toffolo, but it's gone for a throw-in instead. And Charlton will stay on the front foot. They've not really troubled Town's goals so far. 1-0 Huddersfield Town lead after 33 minutes.
Toffolo's done well there, made himself big. No chance to get the ball through his legs, keeps them closed as Green was trying to get it into the box.
Matthews looks for decent options for the throw-in and goes for McGeady, who turns on the edge of the box, shoots left-footed, but it's over. Looked good for a second for Charlton, but he got underneath it. I think it just bobbled before he struck it.
Yeah, he's sharp, McGeady. You've got to watch him. You've got to keep him well closed down. So they're trying to keep him away, keep some distance on him. You don't want him having chances 18 yards out.
The wind getting chillier. Sun disappearing behind the clouds. Jonas Lussell now with the goal kick. He's waved his wider teammates forward now, and he's going to drive it upfield. Doesn't reach halfway. That ball's going to sit in the wind again before it drops to Harry Toffolo 10 yards inside his own half before he hooks it across halfway to find Colin Grant. Grant tries a return header with not much room to play with, and it doesn't work. It spins off Grant, the goal scorer's head, for a throw into Charlton, who have Middlesbrough at home next week in another 6-pointer by current standards. Their season finishes at Ellen Road against Leeds United on the first weekend in May. And they're giving the ball away again here. Chris Willock, the beneficiary, drives forward, crosses right-footed against Doughty, who's gone down, hurt possibly by that ball slapping against his thigh as he blocked it. That's a painful one in this wind.
It is. Well, Phillips, the goalkeeper, keeps taking chances for Charlton, trying to play into midfield. The ball's not even on. I'll take it all day because it just keeps encouraging Town to keep pressing high, keep closing them down. That's where the goals come from. They're very generous, Charlton. Very generous.
Another stoppage. Doughty's still hurt and receiving treatment. This is the Cowleys' 30th championship match in charge. The 29 before today, they'd won 10, drawn 8 and lost 11. And of course after this, Town have only got 4 more home matches this season. Wigan in a couple of Saturdays, then Preston another Saturday afternoon 3 o'clock, Luton at home on Easter Monday, and the penultimate weekend of the season, West Bromwich Albion. They'll be up by then. They'll put the kids out. If they aren't, I guess that probably won't be a 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon kickoff, but I'm jumping the gun a lot in saying that, so don't read too much into what I'm saying. But of the 10 games left after this for Huddersfield Town, 6 are away, starting at Ellen Road next Saturday. Jamie, what's going on elsewhere? Anything interesting?
Yeah, I can tell you, as the championship table stands, Huddersfield Town are up to 17th. We knew that already because, of course, Hull City were beaten by Leeds United 4-0. Barnsley are trailing at Reading 1-0. Stoke City beating Luton Town 1-0.
We're back underway after Town's throw-in. Thanks, Jamie. Emile Smith-Rowe gets onto a ball that was cleared to him. The keeper parries his shot, and Grant, from an impossible angle, hits the outside of the post. Nearly 2-0 Town. Yeah,
again, Smith-Rowe, all he thinks about is going towards the opposition's goal. Doesn't think about going back, sideways. Just wants to get a shot on target. It's a decent save by the goalkeeper. Didn't quite get enough power as he'd like to, Smith-Rowe on it. Really sharp from Carlin Grant to get there on the rebound. Unfortunately, the angle's just a little bit too tight for him.
Town are showing signs of delivering more than just 1 goal today.
Because Charlton want them to live more than 1 goal by the looks of it. And Town got to make sure. We've seen it too many times with other teams as well in West Yorkshire. If you don't take your chances, you can get stung.
Grant's pass infield towards Harry Toffolo was overhit, and Toffolo, trying to recover it, has fouled his opponent Aidan McGeady. Huddersfield Town 1, Charlton 0. 37 minutes gone. Oshilaja takes a short free kick. Matthews in a nothing position really, tiptoes over the halfway line. McGeady receives his pass and has a bit more inventiveness in his movement and distribution. He brings in Pearce. Doughty with a very heavy touch almost invites Fraser Campbell into a 50-50, which I wouldn't recommend. On the halfway line, Cullen has to scruffily play it all the way back towards Phillips. Referee didn't like the challenge, the second challenge from Fraser Campbell.
I was going to say it was a selection for him to choose from. So
there were 3 in all.
Pick the middle one.
Campbell smiles back at referee Jeff Eltringham.
Of course he is smiling at him because he's not booked him yet.
Yeah. Huddersfield Town 1, Charlton 0. Grant, the scorer, is 15th of the season. 4 of them have come from the penalty spot. Ostuma for Charlton. Swings it left-footed to this near side again. Pearce brings in Doughty. Doughty's got no decent options upfield. Huddersfield Town's defensive block, which looks low at times, it's very solid. 4 at the back and 3 in front in that instance when Doughty had it. But there was a press as well from Willock close to the ball carrier, and the options were absolutely zilch as far as Charlton were concerned. The better option is what they've just done, which is a nice switch across the park. Accurate, but miscontrolled anyway by Doughty, hence the jeers from the Huddersfield Town fans. and they do not look in great shape now. Charlton trailing here in Huddersfield by a goal to nil.
No, that's not a great touch. Straight into his middle wicket. If he was a cricketer, yes, he would be out. That's just because Simpson just put that bit of pressure on him. He just took his eye off the ball and just loses his control.
Simpson now rolls the pass back towards Jonas Lussell away to our left. Oshilaja beats Grant in the air and the ball drops for Cullen. Cullen hooks it looking for Lapsley or McGeady downfield, but Town defend again with O'Brien and Toffolo, helped out by Schindler. Now Lewis O'Brien's on the ball, clips it for Trevor Chalobah. Bobbly pass back towards the running O'Brien, but he'll get it back anyway for him. A poor clearance by Cullen. He dribbles against Lapsley, brings in Toffolo, aggressive. Toffolo looks to run at the defence, lays a pass out unselfishly to Grant, and I think we'd rather he'd have kept going. Grant wasn't ready, and Charlton have picked up possession and cleared instead. 1-0 Huddersfield lead.
Really impressive from Toffolo there. Picks up that loose ball, chance of getting a knock himself, will just go straight through, driving them attacks forward.
Grant comes in field looking for possession and a chance to trouble his old club. Huddersfield Town 1, Charlton 0. Smith Rowe from Chalobah's little pass midway inside the Charlton half. Willock uses the overlapping Danny Simpson with a side foot pass to find him. Smith Rowe clips it back to the waiting Simpson now from the right edge of the box. Now Willock, behind whom Ostuma has slipped over. Willock tries to exploit that by placing a pass through the space for Smith Rowe, but he misplaces it, hits a Charlton player, and now they're clear, albeit with a wayward clearance downfield. It's not going to be reached by Lyle Taylor, and it's out for a throw into Huddersfield Town in their right back position. Town lead 1-0.
Yeah, they're just keeping the pressure on all the time. Danny Simpson spending plenty of time in attacking positions. Willock seems like he's enjoying himself as well. He's chucking a couple little tricks in there. Looks fit for a lad who's not played loads of football this season.
Pearce, busy, the skipper at the back for Charlton.
Do you think it's the sight of Campbell coming towards them means that they put the ball out of play as many times as they do? So many times the unchallenged Charlton players and the ball ends up out for a throw into Town or straight back to a Town player. I just think they get unnerved, unsettled, and I say again justifies why Campbell starts ahead of Mounier today.
Danny Simpson switches play from right to left and Toffolo brings it down. O'Brien and Grant. 15 yards inside Charlton's half. They go backwards. It'd be nice to see Town run at the tired looking Charlton defenders, as the gentleman to our right is suggesting right now.
Yes, that lone voice, you could hear him.
Lussell uses Chalobah and Stearman on the edge of his penalty area. He's got plenty of time to pick his options, Jonas Lussell, and he chips it out with great skill and accuracy towards Simpson. Simpson finds Chris Willock, who gets past the stranded Cullen. Willock cuts in field with his left back heel, then turns and waits for Danny Simpson to arrive overlapping across on the run. Carlon Grant miscues his header and shoulders it wide with the goal at his mercy. Lovely cross on the run by Danny Simpson, and that is a golden chance missed for 2-0.
Well, that all comes from Willock. The weight of the pass to Simpson, who's just screaming out and saying, go on, stick it in the 6-yard box. And Carlon Grant, a great little piece of movement just to give himself a yard away from the defender, and he gets it all kinds of wrong. So it comes off his shoulder. If he just takes his eye off it, because it whisks over the defender's head and he just misjudges it, that's a real chance.
Pearce and Lapsley are running out of room on the edge of their box. The press from Campbell and Smith Rowe, and Grant is threatening to pinch the ball off Charlton, just like Grant did for his goal. But now in broken play in midfield, Matthews breaks very centrally and aggressively to find Green. Green's cross on the run is blocked by Toffolo as he runs back. His back heel in the way, and Huddersfield Town clear for a throw-in to Charlton on halfway. Lee Bowyer, their manager, hands on hips. Looks as if he'd rather have gone fishing this afternoon, actually. Lyle Taylor bypasses his teammate Ostuma to bring in Josh Cullen. Chris Willock has held Cullen. Risk of a booking there, really. I wouldn't try that again. It was a very obvious foul.
Especially when he's running into traffic as well. You've got to assess the whole situation. He's not going anywhere.
Cullen wants it back from Doughty from the free kick. Charlton have got plenty of bodies waiting on the edge and inside the penalty area. McGeady decides not to go down the left side, finds Taylor, who shoots on the turn. It's half blocked by Stearman, drops on the side netting, and it's a corner to Charlton.
That's just that little bit of quality, well, a lot of quality that Taylor adds to it. He's not been anywhere near this game today. Just a bang, quick turn, and he gets the strike. Decent defending from Stearman, gets his block to make sure it goes wide.
Huddersfield Town have dominated possession and chances on goal in the first half, which is soon to come to an end, but there's still only one goal to show for it, and Charlton now have the first corner from this left hand side in the final first half minute. Cullen holds up his left arm. From the left hand side, Cullen delivers a floater, right footed. Oshilaja's downward header is wide. It wouldn't have counted anyway, even before Lussell grabbed it, because Oshilaja was climbing all over Schindler's back.
Yeah, it's foul on Schindler. Bit of confusion there though, that the ball just didn't come down. Lussell thought about coming, got himself back into a decent position, and so he's just got all over Schindler. Nothing to worry about. Just see out this half now. Be interested in the second half with Town wanting to drive forward. A little bit of wind on the backs, be able to get things quicker, get things moving. It's going to be really awkward because we've seen that Charlton aren't fantastic at playing out from the back, and if they've got a gale force wind against them, what are they going to do then? They're going to be overplaying it because they're not going to be able to get any sort of distance on the clearances.
Do you agree with me, ladies and gentlemen, that Max Lennon has become preoccupied with the wind since he started his training for Pedal for Pounds?
That's why I've shaved my hair. I mean, hair getting in my eyes, it's all over the place.
It's a factor.
It is a factor in Pedal for Pounds and the game today.
Yet again, Pearce's chip comes to nothing from inside his own half. It's gone out of play for a Huddersfield Town throw-in. Simpson casually sends it back to Stearman. The 45 minutes are up, and 3 minutes have been added on by the officials. Lussell drives the ball down centre field. Oshilaja knocks it
offside.
long. It's missed by Stearman, but offside. Taylor is flagged, and it's a good job that flag went up, because Stearman otherwise would have had a major error put against his name.
Or shall we say, great play from Stearman, who was offside, and he let the ball through, knowing that Taylor wasn't working back quick enough.
Would have been a clear run to goal. Just a sheer misjudgment in taking your eye off the ball.
Again, we've seen a couple of times today. I don't know if people are just overcompensating, over-concentrating, just losing a little bit of focus at times, because they're basic errors, basic control errors that you wouldn't expect people of this standard to make.
10 yards or so inside his own half, Jonas Lussell takes a free kick for Town. Pearce beats Fraser Campbell in the air, but Pearce's clearing header drops to Smith Rowe. He recycles it down the right hand side to bring in Chris Willock, who from a standing start takes on Doughty, twists as if on the dance floor, turns it for Simpson's feet. Simpson uses Chaloba in field. Town lacking in movement really off the ball, so O'Brien turns it round to Harry Toffolo. He'll have a run at the defence, runs into Matthews, and the ball bobbles nicely for Colin Grant to collect. Huddersfield Town 1, Charlton 0. Willock in the inside left position suddenly finds Smith Rowe. One touch pass to Chalobah. Chalobah brings in Simpson, who's attacking again down the right side. Lyle Taylor's with him. He snaps at him. Simpson rides it, delivers the cross. It was accidentally controlled by Matt Doughty with his arm, and Doughty was allowed to clear. That's the last act of the first half. Doughty made a block and it sat up on his other arm, but the ball was going away from goal. There's no chance of a penalty. And that's the end of the first half.
as the Huddersfield Town players make their way out onto the field of play here at the John Smith Stadium. I can tell you that Dillian Phillips, who's in Charlton's goal, has decided to wear a baseball cap for the second half because of the sun, Matty Glennon, something that you'll be accustomed to have done in weather conditions like this in your career. You don't blame him for the way that the sun peers over here at the John Smith Stadium. Get your mic on, come on.
Mic on. It's an absolute waste of time. As soon as you look up, you're in the sun anyway, and the sun's right down the middle there. Yeah, you don't see many caps on these days, but it is straight at you. You probably need more sunglasses. As you can see, he's still got his hand over his eyes now, even with his cap on. It's horrendous when it pokes through there. This was out of town though. It's another positive, another way to drive forward.
Yep.
Add that uncertainty to a defence that already looks very uncertain.
Well, the sun's in Town's favour, the wind is certainly in Town's favour, and the second half is underway at the John Smith Stadium. Let's hand to your commentary team, of course, of Matty Glennon and Paul Ogden.
Thanks, Jamie. A substitution by Charlton at the break, actually. Williams is on for Ostuma. And now they attack down the right. Charlton, they're wearing all black. They changed their usual red strip. And they're playing towards their travelling fans. McGeady tries to prompt a response to their lacklustre first half. Finds Matthews, his cross is headed up in the air. Chalobah challenges for it, but is fouled by Lyle. And their body language suggests they've had a bit of a flea in their ear, collectively Charlton, from their manager Lee Bowyer, who looks on sternly. Town lead by a goal to 0.
Has he got another look apart from looking on sternly? He will have done. He'll have said, I want, God, I don't know what percentage more in the second half. And they obviously listened.
Huddersfield Town 1, Charlton 0 on BBC Radio Leeds, digital and FM. Grant finds Smith Rowe, space on the edge of the box. Smith Rowe's shot is blocked by Pearce. It was dipping into the far corner. The keeper dived for it, but before it reached the 6-yard box, Pearce was in the way, and I don't blame him because he struck it well, Smith Rowe. No changes for Town for the second half. Emile Smith Rowe and his midfield partner Lewis O'Brien exchange short passes midway inside the Charlton half. Smith Rowe, without breaking his stride, scoops the pass on the run across towards Chris Willock, waiting on the right wing. Chalobah tries to give it back to Willock, but the shaven-headed Williams interrupts Town's move and clears impressively downfield against the wing. Stearman finds Willock's big toe. Smith Rowe strokes it. It's going to run away in the wind from Danny Simpson and go for a throw into Charlton Athletic. Has it come off Town? Has it come off Charlton? No, it is Charlton ball. Doughty, their left back, will take it.
Just Town closing it in there. As I say, when you've got the wind against you, it's not easy to clear it, so they're just pressing Charlton as far into that corner as they possibly can.
Shocking position to take a throw in from for the left back. Doughty with the wind against him, deep in his own half, the sun's in his eyes, nothing going right for him. Lyle Taylor's beaten in the air, but it's come off Charlton and gone for a throw into Huddersfield Town. Now Chalobah side puts it for Chris Willock. Willock teases Doughty again. Then at the byline, Willock sees his cross blocked by the same persistent opponent, and Doughty collects it to rifle it upfield for Lyle Taylor. Taylor brings in Williams, who's run away from defence. He's stopped because the referee's seen a foul by Taylor. He didn't like Lyle Taylor's foot in the air trying to recover the ball after it had come free from him, and the ref's given a free kick to Huddersfield Town.
Was quite delayed in giving the decision now. The game carried on, then the referee brought it back more when I think Simpson threw his hands up in the air.
Town's free kick swung infield from the right flank, and now Toffolo finds Colin Grant down the left hand side. Grant teases Lapsley towards him, then flips a lovely pass over the top for Toffolo. He collects it near the byline. In comes Grant to take the return ball, and now the pair of them interact level with the left edge of the penalty area. Two defenders with them, one each. Matthews on Grant now. Grant holding it, flipping it for Schindler, who's joined the attack. Schindler's first time pass is straight to Matthews, who clears downfield. Then Lewis O'Brien, with a heavy touch, has to recollect, but he's got the aggression to do so. The tackle from Lyle Taylor allows McGeady to bring it away, though. And McGeady is tackled by Schindler cleanly. It runs for Chalobah. Chalobah runs onto it and drills it against the defender Pierce. It's going to skid away for a throw into Town.
So Lewis O'Brien there just wanted it more. He wasn't even favourite to get to that ball, but he made sure his foot went in there first, then retrieves it, and so then Schindler makes a decent attempt at tackle as well when Charlton looked like they were going to break, and Chalobah has his shot blocked. I feel like Town needs to step up. I think Smith Rowe needs to step up a little more as well. He's not getting his positions as quick as he could be. He's wandering a little bit round at the game at the minute, and you want him really to be a little bit sharp, a little bit quicker, get this game done with, because he's got the ability to do that to Charlton.
Huddersfield Town 1, Charlton 0 in the battle between 19th and 18th in the table. Leeds United have already beaten Hull City by 4-0 over at the KCOM Stadium. Leeds in great shape ahead of the derby between Leeds and Huddersfield Town at Ellen Road, which kicks off at 3 o'clock English time next weekend. Bradford City leading Plymouth 2-0 at the break, last we heard over on 774 AM. I should add. Cullen meanwhile lifts it over the top here for Charlton, looking for Andre Green, but the pass is overhit and Lussell comes out to claim it. In the lengthening shadows at the south stand end, Lussell holds it. Stand up if you love the Town, coming now from the terraces. The ball coming back into Town's half. Lyle Taylor, another ex-Wimbledon player in the Charlton ranks, skips away from the tackle of Lewis O'Brien, brings in Jason Pearce. Pearce angles the ball down the left-hand side towards Johnny Williams. Williams is beaten to it by Danny Simpson, and Town won a throw-in just short of halfway. There's an aggression in this match. Town showing more of it at the moment, though maybe there's more to come from Charlton. We should be warned after what looks like an inspirational half-time team talk from Lee Bowyer. He clearly wasn't happy with what he saw from his team in the first half.
There should be an aggression though. There should be a passion and a willingness to go above and beyond, because it's such a huge game, and this is it's not season defining, but it goes a long way to helping whoever wins this game stay in the division.
You can see the enthusiasm and the dynamism in Johnny Williams' body language. He scuttles along the left flank, tries to give an early ball to Andre Green, but Green isn't with him, and the ball goes out of play. It was slightly wider target, that pass, but Williams, the ex-Crystal Palace player, I'm not sure whether it's right to say he nearly joined Huddersfield Town, but there were talks with Palace about bringing him here on loan at one stage of his career.
Well, he was lively in the warm-up, never mind.
Yeah.
Coming onto the pitch, surprised they didn't start the game.
Key player maybe for Charlton in the second half. They've got some work to do. Huddersfield Town lead by a 0-0. Matthews, the bearded right back, almost gives it to Emile Smith Rowe inside his own half. Charlton just about get away with it, and now Williams links with Pearce as Charlton start their next possession inside their own half. Williams turns away from Trevor Chalobah. Chalobah fouls him. Free kick Charlton. Taken square. Oshiladja gives it back to Pearce. Williams is the go-to man in the second half. You can see it in the way Charlton are looking for him. Williams turns across the halfway line and brings in, down the left-hand side, Aidan McGeady, who steps in. Right-footed cross towards Green, whose looping header is weak and into the arms of Jonas Lussell. Still a mini warning of sorts, that.
There is, yeah, and they committed good numbers forward as well. There was 3 Charlton players there waiting for the delivery into the box across the 18-yard line, and it only takes and they've got a little bit of quality in their Charlton. They've beaten some decent teams this season, we can't forget that, so they have got it in them. Town's got to make sure that they don't let them get back into it, and things like that from Willock aren't going to help.
Danny Simpson almost won the ball back, but a clash between him and Johnny Williams has left Williams in a heat. Williams got the ball away. Town pick it up again. That's a lovely drift and a dribble by Chalobah, who goes past the second man and now into the box. He's all alone on the right hand side. Chalobah, but he holds it up, knows that Chris Willock's there to help him. And now the first time cross from Danny Simpson is helped away by Lapsley, but he sent it back to where it came from.
Oh, referee.
Town have it again. The ref stopped the play.
He stopped the play when the boy shouted at him, "Come on, ref, please give me a foul." So he did. There was nothing in that at all. Let's see Willock maybe not turn down the cross as much at the minute. There is opportunity to put the ball into the box, and there's enough numbers in there for Town as well, and some decent movement. By going back, you're just allowing Charlton just to get a little bit more organised again.
I'll tell you, you've done a fine job today, Matty. The Charlton fans, they brought a drum with them. They're trying to rev their team up.
I now imagine how bad Charlton would be if they didn't have the drum.
After what they've seen, full marks to the addicts. Lyle Taylor, I thought he might have been fouled. The ball falls to Matthews at the near post. Andre Green is blocked, and Danny Simpson came across to scramble the ball away. It's a corner to Charlton, who, as we feared, are just beginning to find one or two half gaps to exploit.
Yeah, well, that was a mixture of Toffolo and Simpson. Simpson makes the initial challenge. Toffolo gets there to do the block as well. And again, just a little warning sign that Charlton have come out in the second half to get something.
Still only one goal in it. Charlton's corner, looking for an equaliser. Cullen swings it in. It's headed away by Richard Stearman for Huddersfield Town. McGeady holds it. Williams with an aggressive first time pass towards Oshilaja, who's still up after the set piece. Now Cullen will cross near post. Lapsley can't get his back header off because Schindler's in the way, and Willock now steps away from McGeady. It's a break from deep. It's 3 against 3. Willock on the ball with pace. He underhits his pass to Smith Rowe, but wants it back. Willock's got a chance. The keeper saves at point blank range. Smith Rowe kept the attack alive with a great return pass to Willock, but he couldn't take his chance, and it's a corner.
What a great turn from Willock though, on the edge of his own 18-yard box, to use his body and his strength there just to start that attack off. And yep, it was a little bit short in the pass to Smith Rowe, but what Willock does well, he keeps himself on side and gets that chance, and it's a decent save from the goalkeeper. Comes racing off his line and makes a good save. A bit more composure from Willock there, and it's 2-0.
Short corner by Town, leading 1-0. Grant finds Smith Rowe, who sees his cross blocked, and it's belted away by Johnny Williams for Charlton. Next goal could count for quite a lot, whichever end it comes, because the game's not over yet. Huddersfield Town lead 1-0. Harry Toffolo knocks it over the top to invite Trevor Chalobah to run again, and he wins it in an impossible situation. More aggression from Chalobah. Toffolo's cross, fingertipped away. Is there a foul on the edge of the box? The 6-yard box against Campbell. Campbell thinks he's been brought down. Now Campbell retaliates against Pearce. The keeper gets involved. Fraser Campbell did a bit of pushing off the ball, infuriated at the referee's decision not to give a penalty.
Needs to be careful, can't let it boil over. You've not been given the decision, so you have to move on. Don't be doing something silly by getting yourself sent off. Brilliant from Chalobah though. Great in the first instance to even get there, and then to get the ball to Toffolo to create the chance for Huddersfield Town. Really well played. I do feel like the referee's missed something in there though. Carlin Grant's having a little go with the fourth official. Campbell still talking to the referee.
We've certainly got a bit more to watch in this second half.
Yes.
Almost a boxing match there between Fraser Campbell and Phillips, the Charlton keeper. And the ball was miles away. Now it's out of play on the near side off the blonde-haired Lapsley. Huddersfield Town's throw-in to come from Harry Toffolo, who strolls over. I think he plays a lot older than he is, Harry Toffolo.
Yeah, he
experienced,
does.
he's been around, he knows what to do.
Yeah. The ball into the box, to be in that position in the first place, the furthest man forward on the pitch.
He'll be an important man in the atmosphere at Ellen Road that Town will have to face in next weekend's derby between Leeds United and Huddersfield Town, of which you'll hear two commentaries simultaneously, a Huddersfield bias version and a Leeds United bias version. We'll bring you more details as to where to find those as we build up to the derby next Saturday.
Campbell wishes this referee was there every single week. He just stuck another one on a Charlton player and still no booking.
Now Fraser Campbell makes a clean tackle on Johnny Williams and the ball runs for Lewis O'Brien. He scurries across the halfway line, gives it to Emile Smith-Rowe, who's gone without the ball. Charlton win it back.
Smith-Rowe needs to sharp himself up a little bit, I'm afraid. Yeah, you can have all the plaudits when everything's going right for you, but at this moment in time he needs to speed himself up. This is a massive game. Need a full, and if he's not right, tell the coaches and get yourself off the pitch if you're not quite sure if you're carrying something. You can't have any passengers.
Jonas Lussell has to play a ball away from danger, hit back to him by Richard Stearman. Charlton, all in black, pick it up on the halfway line, run forward looking for an equaliser. McGeady and Williams combine again. Williams' shot comes off Danny Simpson, stretching to block it, and it's a corner again to Charlton from the left-hand side.
That's great defending from Simpson. Just stands his ground, doesn't go too far, because Williams is sharp and cuts back on his right foot and could have opened up the goal, but Simpson makes sure he stays in the right place, gets the block in. Charlton are definitely going for it.
Macaulay Bond coming on for Aidan McGeady. Another attacking option, a big boy Bond to come on. This will be power in the air rather than a distribution and nippiness that McGeady gives you. So more for Huddersfield Town to think about. Huddersfield Town 1, Charlton Athletic 0, in a battle to gain points and get away from the relegation zone. Charlton's corner, far post, Pearce's header down into the 6-yard box. Lyle Taylor thinks he's been fouled, but it's cleared by Danny Simpson and Richard Stearman.
Regardless of who thinks they've been fouled, Al Pearce is all by himself with a free header at the back post. The main centre half, the biggest player on Charlton's team. That can't be right. I don't know, he's still not being picked up now.
Danny Simpson's pointing towards
Stearman's
Pearce
pointing towards
the
him, but he's going to pull off again.
Macaulay Bonne is tackled by Schindler as the throw-in comes in from the right-hand side, and Charlton are pressing. Charlton can sense an opportunity here.
Yeah, but who's marking Pearce? Who's marking their captain, their aggressive player, on a set piece?
Short corner by Charlton. Town reacts slowly. Matthews crosses high, looping ball, great header away. Christopher Schindler, a back header. He knew he was going to get a big hit in his back as soon as he made contact. Made it anyway, and Town are clear. Williams chases to steer it infield towards Doughty. Lewis O'Brien's been pushed over by Andre Green, and the ref will give a free kick for this. Huddersfield Town 1, Charlton 0.
There's a little let off there. A couple of instances. Great header from Schindler. So I presume Schindler's marking Pearce then, because he's gone over to make that header. Need some voice in there. Stearman can't be sending Willock over to mark Pearce on set pieces. That is a mismatch. Williams
stares at Trevor Chiloba. Chiloba lays it off to Carlin Grant, but Town are forced backwards by Taylor, who closes down Jonas Lussell. Lussell traps it and side puts it for Christopher Schindler, and Town build out from their left back position. Harry Toffolo finds Carlin Grant. The pass was drifting out and Grant had to backheel it in play. I don't think it was Grant's fault really.
Sometimes it's best just to leave it.
Yeah. Town have lost possession. Williams finds Green, who strokes it round the outside. Taylor wins a corner off Lewis O'Brien. It's a throw-in. I think it's a throw-in.
It's a throw-in, yeah. I think Lewis O'Brien was hoping for something a little bit more.
Yep, it is a throw-in.
This is Charlton's little spell now. Their little spell. 10-15 minutes of pressure. This is a big part of the game for Town.
The Charlton fans respond to their team's second half so far. They can sense an opportunity to get back into the game against their expectations. but Huddersfield Town still lead by a goal to nil. Now the throw in short. Williams can't get past Karlan Grant. Lapsley thinks he's won a corner, but it's gone for a goal kick. Chalobah involved in the defensive operation, and he has made a contribution today. It shouldn't be underappreciated.
Definitely. There's been a couple of wayward passes, but he's been in some tricky situations. He's done well going forward. He's made a couple of decent blocks as well.
Possession percentages now stand at 58-42 in Huddersfield Town's favour, but in the first half there was a massive imbalance comparatively.
So it's funny there, Charlton are taking the throw in and taking the time, and Karlan Grant's trying to get him to hurry up and say to the referee, you 1-0 up, let him take all day. He can take a 20-minute throw in if he wants. That one who's speeding Charlton up.
Campbell does well to get the right side of Oshilaja and make a header down towards Karlan Grant, but Matthews and then Cullen bring Charlton away from their own penalty area. Still 25 minutes left. Johnny Williams on the ball, followed by Chris Willock. Now round the outside, Pearce with a lovely curving pass along the ground. Infield comes Doughty from the left flank, gives it straight to Macaulay Bonne. It's going to fall to Green, whose shot is blocked by Harry Toffolo. And now Town can break, with Campbell laying it off to Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe checks his run down centre field, changes his mind, still gives a lovely pass, curving along the ground towards Chris Willock. Willock takes on the defenders. There's a shooting chance here. Willock, rising shot over the bar. Goal kick.
Never looked like he was in full control of that ball. Lovely ball from Smith Rowe, just to get it wide to Willock in the first place. But Toffolo again, fantastic block in the 18-yard box there. It's virtually a free strike for the Charlton player, but he puts his body in the way. Absolutely superb.
Substitution coming. This is a delicate, very important one for Huddersfield Town manager Danny Cowley. He's bringing on Juninho Bacuna for Chris Willock. Now, if this ends up as Bacuna against Williams, we could have some fireworks.
I think we're also going to see, potentially, although he's just put his vest back on, Alex Pritchard was getting his kit off and ready to get on the field. I know, but he's just put his green vest back on, Oggy. Teasing us all, but I think we can expect to see him come on shortly. He's getting his instructions now in the dugout.
Good spot, Jamie. Goal kick taken by Charlton keeper Phillips. Chalobah heads there beyond Williams' jump. Cullen knocks it forward for Charlton. Huddersfield Town 1, Charlton 0. Grant's first half goal, pouncing on the possession error by Oshilaja in his own penalty area to fire it in for his 15th of the season. Town play down the left. Toffolo curves one around the outside now for Grant to chase. Oshilaja doesn't really want to play it, but he's going to have to. Grant closing him down, and Oshilaja does well to skip away from Town striker. Cullen lays it back into his box. Phillips, the keeper, squinting into the sunshine, controls it nevertheless and knocks it upfield. Finds Lyle Taylor. He knocks it down for Williams. Back comes O'Brien, makes the tackle, but almost flirts it into the path of Macaulay Bonne. It's cleared by Simpson, I beg your pardon. Huddersfield Town 1, Charlton 0. Smith Rowe running, striding, dribbling. Tackled now by Lapsley, but the ball will fall for O'Brien, and now quickly it's back to Smith Rowe, who scoops the shot over the bar. Do you know, I think he could have dribbled all the way through the Charlton defence there.
Yeah, he could have gone a bit further. Technique didn't look right there. Really drove down on the ball, miles wide in the end. So his close control is absolutely tremendous, just to whiz past people. He's looking a bit fatigued, looking like he's
Pritchard
a bit of a knock as well, I think maybe, yeah.
Pritchard for Smith Rowe coming after Jamie's excellent piece of detective work. Mind you, any sign of Pritchard now? There's a little piece of paper been handed by Mark Hudson to the fourth official. That must be the substitution coming. Bacuna fouls Williams. I don't think that's the last time I'm going to say that.
No, I don't think it is either.
Juninho Bacuna nailing the shaven-headed sub, who winces away now from the challenge. It's a free kick to Charlton. Town have to defend. 23 minutes left. We'll keep you posted on the key scores elsewhere at the next stoppage. Jamie's standing by to do that and to take your messages for the fans forum after the match. Cullen's free kick for Charlton, who need an equaliser. It's a floater. Schindler judges it beautifully and heads it away. The ball's now with Lapsley, the blonde-headed midfielder. Oshilaja has stayed up for the set piece. Oh, he bundles his way past Topolo, who's standing now stranded. Oshilaja into the box, then the cross behind the bunch, and it's hooked over the bar by Cullen from 15 yards. Charlton should have done better with that chance because Town were wide open.
Yeah, Bonnet is going absolutely crazy. He stood on the edge of the 6-yard box all by himself to tap it in the back of the net. Fortunately, he doesn't see it, but that's a bit unfortunate from Toffolo. It was a decent challenge, but the ball comes loose for the Charlton player to take it into the 18-yard box.
You can just sense the tension amongst the home fans.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be like this.
Yeah.
It was never going to be a walk in the park, was it?
Alex Pritchard is going to come on for Huddersfield Town. From the bench, he chats with Carlin Grant, meanwhile, as we wait for the restart, and that restart isn't coming because Emile Smith-Rowe is down in the centre circle. We're going to have a stoppage. It's Huddersfield Town 1, Charlton Athletic 0. We know, don't we, that this game is by no means over. What you got, Jamie?
Yeah, some of the scorelines with significance for Huddersfield Town and how things are shaping up in this game. Reading 2, Barnsley 0. You would expect the Royals to go on and win that game at the bottom end of the Championship table. Elsewhere at Kenilworth Road, Luton Town 0, Stoke City 1. As it stands, Huddersfield Town, as we've said so often this game, remains 17th in the Championship table. But as we know, Oggy, as Alex Pritchard gets ready to come on for the first time since mid-November, you can never take this Championship season for granted. Not one bit.
Emile Smith-Rowe's got a knock, which he, I think, got in the first half. He's run it off, made his big contribution, absolutely. But for the first time in the year 2020, we see Alex Pritchard run onto the field in a Huddersfield Town first team match. And it's like for like in terms of positions. More dynamism.
Yeah, we'll see how sharp he is. We know he's always up for it. Just that little bit of added aggression that Pritchard brings. Smith-Rowe was struggling a little bit there, looked a bit laboured. Hopefully a fully fit Pritchard now doing what he does, getting about people. Very similar to Campbell in that sense, where he'll get in the faces. And he's got quality as well. Town are going to need that to see this game out.
1-0 Huddersfield Town lead. A Town player's gone down on the far side.
Campbell's just took one.
Fraser Campbell, the victim of a high foot. And Johnny Williams,
very kind of him, picks him up.
It was Doughty who administered it, but Johnny Williams says, come on Fraser, I've seen you survive worse than that in the years we played against each other. Campbell goes to his central attacking position, waiting for the delivery with 19 minutes left. Bakuna skates down the right side, lays it off to Pritchard. Bakuna will make things happen, no doubt. Can't get round the defender on this occasion, but Pritchard picks up the loose ball, heads for the byline, takes on Jason Pearce, dragging it, teasing, threatening to backheel through the legs of Pearce. In the scramble, it's come off Pritchard and gone for a throw-in, which Charlton will have 2 yards up from their own.
I'm going to see Steve Mounier as well, by the looks of it.
Huddersfield Town 1, Charlton Athletic 0. It's a scrappy portion of the game, this.
Yeah, you can see a few more challenges flying in before the end of this game. Tensions are getting quite high on the pitch as well.
Macaulay Bonne can't control it. Johnny Williams fouls Bakuna.
No.
Oh, Bakuna fell anyway, and it was Williams who administered the tackle, but it's gone out for a throw-in off the Dutchman, who's tinted his locks pink today. Williams against Simpson. Falls in a heap after the aerial challenge. And Williams is particularly indignant about that challenge from Danny Simpson. Free kick taken quickly, but the referee wants it to come back, and still the scruffiness continues. Danny Simpson explains to Johnny Williams, his opponent, what he was trying to do. The referee says, let me ref this game, and now the free kick's coming. and so is Steve Mounier from the Town bench. It'll be Fraser Campbell who's subbed off. It's important that Huddersfield Town keep their rhythm and shape in amongst all these changes, Matty, because they've had 3 in quick succession.
It is. Let's say Steve Mounier will come on. He knows what he's doing. He's come on a couple of times now for Campbell. Say Pritchard sits in that ready position that Smith Rowe left. It's just really the making sure that everyone is up to speed and is in tune with the game, because as I say, it's a high pressure game. It's starting to get a little bitty now.
Yeah.
Bakuna's going to have to make sure he keeps his head, because he's going to get a couple of knocks from Williams before the end of the day.
Schindler's been important in the second half today for Huddersfield Town. His header against Bonn stopped the threat of the free kick taken by Charlton from the left-hand side, and now the London team have got to go and fetch it inside their own half. Mounier busy straight away, sprinting in front of keeper Phillips to cut down his options for the clearance. Oshilaja just slips in the deep right side part of the Charlton half, and he presents the clearance straight to Colin Grant. Huddersfield Town lead Charlton 1-0. Toffolo and Pritchard. Toffolo runs to take the return ball and crosses on the run. It's over the far side, and Mounier chests it in for 2-0. Steve Mounier didn't know 100% what was going on as the ball bounced in towards him, but Toffolo and the combination down the left side with Pritchard has opened Charlton up to make Huddersfield Town's most important goal of this phase of the season. Mounier scores with his chest. It's 2-0 Huddersfield Town now against Charlton, and these are precious points.
Yeah, great movement from Mounier. I don't know if you know much about it. I think he expected Pearce to get the clearance, hits him back of the net, but Pritchard and Toffolo, great build-up play, great 1-2s. I thought for a second that Pritchard had just underhit his pass, but Toffolo made it into a really good one and just sticks it into a great area. Goalkeeper can't come, defenders unsure. There's Mounier off the chest, and we will take it all day long. And you know what, Town deserve it for the overall play today. And there's Steve Mounier again, another goal.
8 for the season, Steve Mounier now. And there are still 10 matches left to play after this. Huddersfield Town 2, Charlton Athletic 0. Town poised for a rare double this season over any opponent, as Grant nods the ball into the Charlton penalty area. Pritchard chases after it, only to be stopped by a trio of Charlton defenders. Oshilaja now shoves the ball out in front of Doughty. Cullen, chased by Mounier, the Town's second goal scorer, turns it back in field for Pearce. Matthews down the right hand side, chips it into the wind. It goes out and comes back in, and the flag held up will stop Charlton's attack. Elsewhere, results have gone Huddersfield Town's way to some extent. Not least Leeds United's 4-0 win over at Hull earlier today.
Apart from one, Mr. Ogden, as it stands at this moment, Jamie.
West Bromwich Albion 0, Wigan Athletic 1.
You're making it up.
I promise you I'm not.
Wigan still to come here for a fixture in a fortnight's time, so you cannot be too complacent. Well, that's ridiculous. A header in field for Bakuna to chase. Mounier leaves it for Bakuna. Pritchard wants it on the edge of the box. His first time pass is intercepted by Pearce. Charlton wide open down the middle until Pearce intervened. Williams steps away from Bakuna, who is perhaps understandably lacking in sharpness. Lyle Taylor hacks around in midfield as the ball goes loose. Grant brings it away down the left-hand side. Bypasses Lapsley. Lovely work by O'Brien with a simple ball for Pritchard. He finds Bakuna, who drills one against Pearce, who's had a great game for Charlton. Pearce, he's done everything he can at central defence. Simpson finds Chalobah, and Town are beginning to play keep ball now. 2-0 ahead.
Yeah, and the confidence on the ball as well. Little 1-2s, getting into really good positions. Say Carlin Grant there, just waiting for the Charlton player to come in before he just nips it round the corner. Pritchard getting some really vital minutes.
Williams fouled by O'Brien. Lewis O'Brien going to be talked to by the referee. I really hope he doesn't yellow card him, because Lewis O'Brien's on 8 bookings, and I think I'm right in saying the threshold for a 2-match suspension because of a 10th booking is next week.
Correct.
37 matches.
That's correct, yeah.
I think we can assume there will be 1 or 2 yellow cards in a Leeds United Huddersfield Town derby, and that's only in the commentary box. Chalobah for Huddersfield Town, who lead by 2-0. Pearce comes across to try and stop Chalobah, which he does, but he's miscued it.
So there's quite a lot of,
and it's out for a throw.
Obviously, joyous people in the stadium right now, and Town players are putting on a little bit of a show, but there's still 12-13 minutes. You don't want Charlton to get a break on. Got to make sure they do the job. They have a nice clean sheet as well. Don't give us that nervous ending that we got last week on Tuesday night against Bristol.
Bacuna shoves off Williams. Pritchard available. Chalobah and then Simpson swing it infield to the focal point of so much that Huddersfield Town do, and that's Lewis O'Brien. Toffolo, brilliant for Town's second goal. Combines now with Mounier with a simple looking first time pass. He wants it back. Toffolo is running to the box, but Mounier's gone the other way. Chalobah switches for Simpson. Now Bacuna's the spare man down the right hand side, and Charlton are running out of energy. Pritchard probing. Bacuna runs into the box to take the return pass, but he stepped on it and gone without the ball. Toffolo's already back in his own half to help out defence. O'Brien, Chalobah. Town sensibly playing keep ball, leading by 2-0 in one of the most important games of the season. Lewis O'Brien steps away from Lyle Taylor. Laboured Taylor leaves it to his teammates. O'Brien runs and shoots, but weakly, and into the arms of Phillips, the keeper.
Yeah, Taylor there got done with the eyes. He's again, Lewis O'Brien more aggressive, trying to chase him. It was like on the old Gladiators travel aid today, he just couldn't catch him.
Green pushes over Toffolo. It's a free kick to Huddersfield Town. Green undid all his own good work down the right hand side. He led the Charlton charge. And here's a Harry Toffolo anthem. Tomer Hemed's going to come on, the Israeli from the bench for Charlton. An opponent of Huddersfield Town's in the Premier League for Brighton. Lussell, meanwhile, clears downfield. 9 minutes of normal time left. Majestic jump and header by Steve Mounier, but he's headed it clean square into the path of a Charlton player, Doughty. With 9 minutes left, Charlton are running out of time. Huddersfield Town 2, Charlton 0. Having run 30 yards, stopped and delivered, Doughty's now giving it straight to Carlin Grant of Huddersfield Town, who's been fouled from behind by Lapsley, and Lapsley is going to be booked for it. Hemed's coming on for the same player, actually.
Yeah, it's so frustrating there, Lapsley. Just no need to make the foul, just breaks the game up. Town are winning, just gives Town a few more minutes just to waste a few more seconds. Or she'll take it as the team that's been fouled against, but you can see why Charlton are in a little bit of danger.
Lewis O'Brien darts around behind the Charlton sub. Bon trying to offer something to Richard Stearman, who's going to take this free kick from in the centre circle. He drifts it towards the right hand side. Mounier aggressive in the air against Pearce, shoulders it down. It drops for Bacuna to chase, and Bacuna forces a scruffy clearance from Doughty out of play. Huddersfield Town 2, Charlton 0. And this looks like a very good week's work for Huddersfield Town. It could get better. Here comes Bakuna into the box. He serves it up for Pritchard, who lays it off unselfishly. Here is Grant turning and twisting. Left-footed pass, low to Mounier. Mounier holds off Oshilaja and then turns it out to the left-hand side. Town trying to walk it in, Arsenal style. Topolo's chip into the box. He's caught by Phillips. And the chance is gone.
Yeah, he just wants someone to let one go there. There was chances, I thought, for Grant and Mounier just to get a strike off. Unfortunately, they didn't. But again, Lewis O'Brien showing his energy.
Beautifully timed tackle by Lewis O'Brien, who'd given it away for once, but he went and won it back, and Town are on the attack again, looking for a third. Pritchard finds Grant. Grant onto his right foot, drives it against probably Pearce again, with Cullen also in the challenge. Simpson brings it down. O'Brien finds Pritchard. There's a run down the left-hand side by Toffolo, which will trigger a pass to him, and rightly so. Now Pritchard takes it, ignores the chance to give it straight back to Toffolo. Town deep inside Charlton's half, 2-0 ahead. Bakuna's on it. He teases Williams, then shoots weakly, and Phillips stops it.
That's a great chance for Bakuna. He's done brilliantly to work it onto his right foot as well. Just hits the bottom of his studs instead of his shoelaces. It's a really easy save for Phillips. But they're putting the pressure on. They're not allowing this 2-0. You know what I mean? Not sitting back and just soaking up pressure like you see teams that are under pressure do before. They're going for that third. They're going for that killer goal.
Taylor and Williams combine without breaking through the Huddersfield Town midfield defence. The ball's gone back to Pearce, and then Williams switches to the right hand side and Oshilaja. Huddersfield Town 2, Charlton 0. Matthews clips the ball up the right side looking for Andre Green. Toffolo tackles it. No room for Green to turn. Matthews takes the throw in from a good couple of yards behind the touchline, showing a bit of tempo that Charlton have lacked in truth all day. Time's running out for them. Matthews is right to deliver a bit of hurry up, but Charlton's ball downfield is not great. Pritchard will run away and into the Charlton half as a result. Pritchard and Grant now with the ball at their feet. Oshilaja's out of position to close down Toffolo. Toffolo brings the ball back into his own half. O'Brien wants it back. Toffolo's got a foul off the ball there. The referee's seen it and played advantage. It's through to an offside Mounier by O'Brien.
Flags up. Long way offside. Mounier.
Stoppage for some treatment to O'Brien. To Toffolo, I should say. Wigan still leading at West Brom, Jamie. You weren't winding me up, were you?
No, I wasn't winding you up. Unbelievable, isn't it? West Bromwich Albion 0, Wigan Athletic 1. Just as we said earlier, never take this championship for granted.
It's fabulous news for Leeds, though. If it stays like that. Schindler's fouled off the ball by Tom Ahmed. On the backside. Schindler will probably find a bruise in the morning if he looks there. Hamed just running past him.
On top of a bruise.
Leave him on in. It's 4 minutes left and Town get a free kick on the edge of their own box, and Charlton look gone to me.
Just with this stoppage in play, Oggy, well worth reminding about the Football Forum after the full-time whistle. Matty Glennon, you'll be standing by until 6 to take people's calls. 0800 389 3333 if you'd like to do so. You can text 81333 with WIS at the front of that text message, or drop us a tweet at WIS Daily. Hopefully, Matty, we'll be discussing a crucial 3 points for Huddersfield Town come the close of play.
I'd like to think so, with 4 or 5 minutes left, and a really impressive display as well.
Matthews runs to collect the free kick delivered by Richard Stearman of Huddersfield Town. Quickly, Charlton send it in field, and Pearce pushes the pass in front of Doughty, who will arrive at halfway and see Janina Bakuna closing him down. Pearce chips it forward. Tom Ahmed makes a run. He's playing almost as a second striker now alongside Lyle Taylor. Macaulay Bonne battles down the left hand side, but between them Simpson and Stearman block his path. Huddersfield Town lead by 2-0, and there's no apparent threat on that now. Charlton enjoyed a spell of possession and came close, but couldn't equalise. Now it's a last-ditch attempt to get on the scoreboard. Williams, I think, might even be penalised by the ref for simulation here, or has he given a free kick in Charlton's favour? Yes, he has. Oh, Trevor Chalobah booked for the foul on Williams. Charlton's free kick just outside the left apex of the box. Josh Cullen is over it. But there's not a heck of a lot of movement or aggression in the bodies of the Charlton players gathering to see if they can connect with the delivery.
No one's inspiring the free kick taker to put into a certain area.
A lot of hands on hips. Green on the edge of the box waits. Could be a breakaway chance for Town here. 2-0 Huddersfield Town lead. Charlton's free kick coming from Cullen. Nicky and Danny Cowley bellow instructions onto the field. The free kick lofted. Oshilaja knocks it into the 6-yard box edge. Chalobah clears, and then with the second header clears his lines. There's a man down on the edge of the Town box, which is Alex Pritchard, who's had a clash of heads with one of the Charlton players.
Yeah, awkward free kick to defend that. Put some height on it, well away from Lossell. They got it back into danger zone, but Chalobah's there again to get a decent clearance. The foul on Pritchard's going to take Lossell quite a while to take this free kick, and rightly so. They defended well today. Lossell made one save in the first half. For all the bits that Charlton have done and those couple of scary moments, not really tested his gloves that much this afternoon.
Huddersfield Town 2, Charlton Athletic 0. BBC Radio Leeds FM and digital, with the fans forum coming up afterwards on 0800 389 3333. It would be an 11th win that Huddersfield Town are poised to secure. Only a couple of minutes of normal time to hang on. In fact, we're in the 89th as Simpson and Bakuna combine. Then Mounier touches it back to Bakuna. There's a defender down. Bakuna plays it through. Chance for Grant. Scores! From 10 yards out, Bakuna did the preparation work, and Carlon Grant ran into space to fire in his second close-range goal of the afternoon and seal a very important Huddersfield Town victory. They're 11th of the season. They'll move on to 42 points, and safety is getting nearer and nearer for Danny Cowley's team.
Yeah, that's just that bit of magic that we know Bakuna can give us, that other side of his game, that little bit of invention. It's a great run from Carlon Grant, I must say, and a good dummy from him as well to take out the defender. But it all comes from Bakuna wanting to drive forward, wanting to get that third goal. And Carlon Grant take a bow. Last time against Charlton, not his greatest game at all. Today he's got hold of this game and got himself a couple of really good goals with some good movement. And I'd like to say, I think that's the 3 points.
Yes. Carlon Grant hears his name ringing out from the cowshed loyal. Huddersfield Town 3, Charlton Athletic 0. The goal coming right on 90 minutes. Williams drives forward, and those 4 minutes added on to the 90 will be a sickener for Charlton, who've still got to continue their shift on a day when they look well beaten and by no means out of danger yet. Hemed, bulky these days, not quite the Premier League athlete that he was last time we came up against him. 3-0 Huddersfield Town lead. 4-0 Leeds United have beaten Hull today. Interesting preparations by the two West Yorkshire neighbours for their clash at Ellen Road next week.
Should make the build up nice and tasty.
Simpson leaves the ball for Stearman. Stearman drives it high into the Charlton half. Cullen looks up for a target to deliver a long ball to. Cullibon nods it down well. Can't find Lyle Taylor because Schindler reads the situation superbly for Huddersfield Town. Hemme from 30 yards out bustles his way past Lewis O'Brien. His pass takes a deflection before it reaches Matthews, but Green comes and helps him out. Matthews will not reach the return pass from Cullen. And still Colin Grant's electric qualities are being heralded by the Huddersfield Town fans.
His goal tally this season's superb. He had a bit of a drought as well, bit of dip in form, bit of injury, bit of this and that. He's come back now, 3 goals in 2 games. Big player, big player.
16 for the season, 12 in open play for Colin Grant.
But your goal tally between 2 strikers now isn't looking too bad.
Steve Mounier has 8 to his name. Fraser Campbell has 2 as well, as Danny Simpson clears up a good 30-yard pass up the right touchline for Bakuna to fetch and use. He brings in Mounier. Bakuna, having come on as a sub, has put himself about. He's still on the ball. Bakuna shoots! It's an absolute beauty! What a strike from Janinho Bakuna! Bakuna at his best from 25 yards. An absolute net buster from the Dutchman into the top corner. Huddersfield Town 4, Charlton Athletic 0. Town of match lead scoreline on the day. What a way to prepare for the derby at Ellen Road. And Town have 3 lovely points in the bag in the fight against relegation.
Talk about making a statement to the rest of the lower part of the division. Absolutely superb. But couldn't look like he was just going to lay it off. Chucks the eyes out and bang. Talk about getting the wind behind the ball as well and hitting the top corner. Caps off a magnificent day. A magnificent 5 days for Huddersfield Town. Thoroughly deserved victory. And that goal difference you were talking about, Oggy, you asked for 5, they've given you 4.
I'll take 4 right now. Woo, what a strike from the man called Baka. He never scores boring goals, does he? Final whistle at the John Smith Stadium. Huddersfield Town 4, Charlton Athletic 0. A comprehensive, impressive win for Huddersfield Town against a real rival in the battle to survive the threat of relegation. They've improved their goal difference by 4, and match Leeds United's win on the day equally impressive over at Hull. The 2 West Yorkshire neighbours with very different agenda will meet at Ellen Road next week. Town are not safe yet, but this is a big step towards securing the championship status again for next season.